Hello and welcome to Ask Me About K-Pop, the essential guide for recent conference and season fans alike. My name is Shannon.
And I'm Angelica.
And welcome to the show. Today's episode is maybe the most unhinged and silly thing we've ever done, I think.
No, the quarterly reports is the most unhinged thing we've ever done.
You're right.
But this is maybe the second biggest mistake we've ever made.
So we did a little episode planning this week to get like the next couple of months of shows planned out so that we don't have to take weird breaks or put out Patreon episodes for free. By the way, so many people joined Patreon after last week. Thank you so much to all of you. I'm glad you enjoyed the preview and that it got you in. Like, wow.
Yeah, and I hope that you've been enjoying the rest of the Queendom recaps that exist and any of the other previous Patreon content, which is now available to you.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Welcome all of you. But anyway, point is, when trying to figure out what we wanted to do this week, I threw out a really silly idea and we were like, yeah, let's just do that. And to say that I went like kind of crazy pulling this episode together is like maybe an understatement. I don't know. Anyway, point is, what we decided to do today is we said when they came up in the random game and in the TVXQ deep dive that Mirotic is a song that seems to be covered almost as if it is a rule.
Yeah.
Like boy groups have to know Mirotic is like the thesis we had.
Yeah. And we had talked about how it seems like, you know, every single boy group you could name had to at some point have covered this song. And I think we also lamented the fact that it's the only TVXQ song that really ever gets covered with the exception of sometimes Balloons.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I am glad we didn't do this for Balloons because if we had, I would have canceled the episode before we made it through the whole playlist. But anyway, we argued that there's a lot of covers and that thesis was proven correct.
Yes. So today what we did is I have made a playlist of 25 different covers of Mirotic. And that's probably not all of them. Like,
it's definitely
it's not all of them.
I was suggested a 26th one literally as soon as I finished the playlist. It was like, do you also want this? And I was like, son of a bitch.
So we watched all 25 of these performances to try to figure out what maybe makes them unique or like how, like, I guess the point was like, how do people cover Mirotic? And I think overall we will find that they cover it really straightforwardly.
Yes.
It's like not a song that people take
liberties with. Yeah. Unless you count the missed notes as liberties.
Sure. But that's the other part of it that is so interesting is like that this is like a very iconic song, but it also has like really difficult singing parts. And the choreo itself is like kind of odd and like really smooth and like it doesn't agree with everybody's dance styles or I don't know.
Yeah, it is an interesting choice. I know that it was so popular and it is interesting also to see the way that these covers span the years.
Yeah.
Like they start right away, right after the song was released, and they kind of never like wane. You know what I mean? They're super consistent throughout the years. There like isn't a period of time where there are no Mirotic covers. It's like at least one a year since the song was released. And that's fucking bananas.
Yeah.
Like TVXQ has released so many other bangers and like they're not even 5 people anymore and come on.
Yeah. But it's also so interesting that in like every single one of these covers, when the like instrument, the beginning of the like the count at the beginning, everyone recognizes it immediately and starts cheering. Like the song itself is like such a staple.
Yeah, it almost seems like I think this is how we joked about it before. It's like it's like a marker or something of like, you have to be able to do this.
Right.
You know, it's like because it's more about the song itself than it is like, well, we're not just covering TVXQ, like we're doing Mirotic.
Right.
And so it's
Right,
like
right.
more about the like, can you
pull this off?
pull this
Like,
off?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, what we are going to do is we're going to go through all of these in chronological order and just sort of like talk about them and maybe like what makes them different or not. And I will absolutely not be playing clips of all of them. I did not want to play Mirotic 25 times because it really started to make me feel pretty crazy. But there are a few like highlights I will pull out and play. But just saying right now, you don't have to listen to Mirotic 25 times. I won't.
Unlike we had to do.
But in order to like, you know, have something to look for or like a thesis point, I like wrote down a few like themes of a Mirotic cover to be like, what do these all have in common? So one of the big questions is, can Changmin's big note like be reached, or will it even be attempted? Because a lot of these covers just
Don't
skip
include it.
because it is rough. The other thing is that Yuno's really iconic rap that he does in like a crazy voice, is it too iconic? Will everyone be doing a Yuno impression, or will anyone try to make the rap fit their rap style?
Yeah.
And then will they change the song up at all? Or is it literally just like a karaoke backing track of the original TVXQ song? And how does each group interpret the choreo? Can they pull off the choreo? How do they look doing the choreo? Etc.
Great. I loved those as like things to keep an eye out for because those are the things I mostly noted.
Okay, great.
But I did also start my research for this by watching an original stage.
Smart.
So I only wanted to add like one of the like biggest highlights of the original performances are the fan chants. Like I cannot listen to this song in the car without screaming "Bacho!" Like it has to be a part of it. So I always noted whether or not fan chants were a part of it. Also, the memo here is slutty suits. So did we get it or not? How are we dressing?
Okay, great.
And then I also have a few other things that are just like silly. Like Yuno's got his arms out, right? And like Changmin has his little baby bangs. So like, how are we interpreting the era?
Sure.
But also I feel like the TVXQ or DB5K, whatever, all five of them had each one of them has a really distinct like warble to their voice, and kind of like the Yuno rap line itself. Like, are we going to keep that warble in our own voices, even though it's kind of dated and people don't really sing like that anymore? Or are we going to just like sing it in your own voice?
Yes.
Some people, we had different choices.
We definitely have different choices.
And the ending always includes running ad libs of like all different octaves. So how off the rails are we going to go at the end?
Great. These are all perfect things to look at. All right. So we're just going to go through these chronologically and talk about them. Would you like to start with our first video?
I would love to. Okay, so the original song was released September 19th, 2008. So just a few months later, on December 21st, 2008, we had Shiny with an event at NBC Radio's Stop the Boring Time. They just went on a radio show. And so they cover the song with almost all of it. It's like 2.5 minutes.
So the original like album version of Mirotic is 3.5 minutes long. They repeat the chorus a bunch of times at the end. And very few people on this list do the 3.5 minute version. Most do a 2.5 minute version that cuts the like choruses at the end, or they just do it for 30 seconds. Like we'll talk about it. But the 2.5 minute version seems to be the most common because 3.5 is long.
And I'm pretty sure they just take out like a minute of chorus.
Yeah, because they just repeat it so many times at the end or whatever. Yeah. So this is a 2.5 minute version.
So yeah, this is a 2.5. And this is, I mean, to say that this was a gem is like a vast understatement because I cannot say enough about how much joy this video brings me. It is like so grainy. It's like warbly. Like
The quality of it is
so
terrible.
bad. And it's just the 5 of them, babies, just 6-7 months debuted, like singing, and they are all wearing headphones and they all have like their radio mics in front of them, but they're like standing in the room. But from where the person recording this on camera is, we cannot hear the music that they are singing to. So we hear their a cappella.
Just screaming this song with all of their like teenage vigor, like just screaming. R.I.P. headphone users. Like, this does not sound nice because the quality is bad and they are like yelling.
They are yelling, except for everything Timeen says.
Please listen to this clip of how small Timeen's line is.
You know you got it.
Oh my god. And Minky high-fived after the you know you got it, which is also really great because they're on the radio and there's no reason to do that.
No one can see you high-fiving.
Oh my god.
You silly boys.
Baby Timeen is so baby in that video. It's really funny.
It's so great, and I felt like it was really fitting that this was the first one. Like, of course, another SM group should be the one to cover it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, obviously, like, John can hit that note, but it does sound like staticky.
Oh, it's blown out.
It's blown
so
out
bad.
as fuck. Like, I'm sure it sounded better in person, but again, even the sound is 240p. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I will say that I noted Key does not do a impression while doing it. He just like raps it in his own style, which is kind of similar to the way that raps, but he doesn't like try to sound like but everyone does the shoulders. All 5 of them
So cute.
do the shoulders. So 20,000 points for Shiny.
Yeah. Great. Perfect. Okay, so our next cover was in February of 2009. This was solo artists We Sung and Lin. They are a male and female solo artist. We've talked about We Sung before.
Yes.
I think he was a first at a company or something. Maybe that episode. But anyway, point is, they went on a show called KBS Again Gayo Top 10. And they basically do the full song, but it blends into another song later. And it is like a funky acoustic guitar cover, like reimagining of the song in like a sexy duet style.
Yeah, it's like a jazzy, flirty duet. Very fun, very growly. Definitely the only song that the only version that totally changes it.
Here's a little clip of it so you can hear what we mean.
I'm breaking my rules again. 알잖아 지루한 걸 조금 다쳐도 난 괜찮아. 넌 나를 원해. 넌 내게 빠져. 넌 내게 미쳐. Oh yeah. I got you. I got you, baby.
And when she does the I got you, she like ran her hand down his chest and the audience was like,
Scandal.
but yeah, it's like very stripped down, and I really appreciate that they like made it their own because, spoiler alert, that is a rarity on this list to like try to do something else with this song. So
Yeah, and they do not keep the high note. They change it completely, but both of their voices sound very nice on this track. Next up, in July of 2010, we had Rain's group M Black, which performed or covered Mirotic on M Countdown's 200th episode. They did not do the full song. They do like one chorus and the rap, which tends to be the staples. Like you usually, unless you choose to do like the 2.5 minute version, you like have to have a chorus in there and you have to have Yuno's rap. And Yuno's rap leads right into the high note. So the question is, do you cut it right before that note or do you include it?
Yes.
So this was part of a like medley stage. They did Big Bang and then TVXQ and then Super Junior. So M Black did just like all 3 of them. And they started the chorus, and then the Yuno rap was it actually just the track of
it might have
because
been.
it sounds exactly like him. I think that it was just him and they were mouthing along, which makes me say, why? Why did we do that? I don't know. It's weird because they definitely sing the rest of it. Like they're not just lip syncing to TVXQ's track, but they do censor this.
Yes, this is an Under My
Sky. Which it was in 2010, so I don't know if it was like still banned at that time. I don't remember.
Because the first two performances on this list are Under My Skin. They did not
did not censor
but the next couple will be Sky.
But I do also wonder if it's because of the setting, because Shiny did it on the radio and We Sung and Lin did it on like some other kind of show. So maybe it was only the music shows or a specific broadcast company. My brain doesn't remember the TVXQ deep dive enough to pull that fact out of my butt. But whatever. Anyway, this one's censored, minus 20,000 points. And they did not attempt the note.
No, they just like stop it before it happens. I did notice that this version, like they did change the backing track a little bit. Like it has more drums in it, like a kick drum in the way that the original doesn't. And they were wearing like gray camo, like patchwork mix and match suits. Very like 2010.
Yeah, very
outfits.
Typical costumes. And they had to be other people too. Like they were also covering
because they were doing all those other things in the song.
It couldn't be just a straight slutty suit.
For sure. Then just a few months later, or just the next month, in August of 2010, ZEA performed Mirotic on what I believe to be an extremely short-lived TVN music show. I tried so hard to find information about this, and it seems to have like maybe only aired for 1 or 2 episodes, but TVN tried to have a music show called Newton in like 2010, and I couldn't find any info on it, but that's where they performed this. It's the 2.5-minute version, and they are wearing like the most second-gen boy outfits I've ever seen, like those long asymmetrical cardigan vest things with like little pants and some skinny guns out for a couple of them.
Yeah.
So second-gen-y, and it made my heart warm. And this performance was interesting because like one of them at the beginning is like singing this song. So I was like, oh, this is about to be a really good cover. But then they like really lose the thread and like run out of steam by the end. And it becomes very cringy very fast.
Yeah. They couldn't hang on. They couldn't hang on for this
couldn't
one.
hang on.
But it started out strong.
It really does.
They nailed the opening warble, and one of them that was in the middle for the main part of the chorus choreo, like he understood how slutty that choreo is, and they were like really like doing the little kicks and being sassy about it, and it was cute. But yeah, the rap was bad. They did not try to go for a impression.
Didn't even bring any flavor, like no flavor. It was a flavorless rap.
It was so bland. But then I wrote that the note was good. Like they include the note because it's the 2.5-minute version, and they hit it. And that's the last like highlight of this performance. But I also wrote, is that just Changmin?
Yes, I turned my headphones up like all the way, and it sounds like the guy in ZEA is doing a nice falsetto. Yeah, he's hitting it. Yeah. But like it's so quiet, and they've like it's mostly Changmin's vocals like
cheating.
Loud, cheating. He's like hitting it, but he's not belting it, and like the Changmin is doing all the work.
Cheating. And then we really lose the fucking plot because wow, those ad-libs are bad. Also, this one was censored. Under My Sky.
And I was also really worried about them because the stage for this show, this Newton show, was like a strip of runway in the middle of crowd like they had on Queendom 2 weeks ago, and someone fell off the back of it. And when they were doing the backwards got used, one of the guys was so close to stepping off the back of that stage. So like it also made me nervous.
Yikes.
There wasn't enough room. This stage was rough in general, unfortunately. Sorry, ZEA, but it was a rough one.
All right, the next year, February of 2011, we had a dance cover by Infinite on the show Star Golden Bell. And they really just do like a minute of it. They do like the like beginning verse and then a chorus of it. But it's just a dance cover. They're not singing it.
And yeah, they were wearing like black suits and vests, some skin showing, and like members were doing it with like varying levels of enthusiasm. Like a couple of them are like Hoya are like doing it really hard. And all the cuts to all the other groups like dancing along and like Girls' Day being like, oh, it like, I just miss these shows. I say this stuff all the time on the show, but I really, really miss shows like Golden Bell where there would be like 10 idol groups on the same episode. It was just so fun. It was more K-pop community than exists now, and I just
totally
like
agree.
miss it.
That was like my only note. Aw, Star Golden Bell.
Yeah.
Because it was just a dance cover, so I couldn't like comment on anything really. Like, yeah, they nailed the dance. They knew what it was.
Next up, on August 18th of 2012, the boy group 100% performed Mirotic at what I believe to be Disney World. Like it looks like Disney World. Very much like at the Epcot Center at Disney World. And this was on a show called Teen Top Rising 100%. That was a show that was on for 2 seasons, and it was 100% and Teen Top competing every episode to like do different things. The first episode of the first season I read is that Mino comes and they have to try to beat his high jump record.
Oh, wow.
So like it was like a competition show 100% versus Teen Top or whatever. And this performance aired on that show for whatever reason. And they do the full song.
Yes, they do.
In, again, extremely second gen outfits in these like ripped jeans with their flowy cardigan vests and their asymmetrical bangs. So second gen. But they like sing this really hard. They hit the Changmin note easily. Like it sounds, they're like, I don't know, this performance was great.
Yeah, it really was. Like this, I did write that the rap was unimpressive, but I think it was mostly just because the sound got kind of swallowed. Like you couldn't really hear them super clearly, but the vocals on this were great. Like all those mics were on, easily hit that note, like you said. And they had really, I thought that they did like some fun new little ad libs, like even at the beginning of the song. And then at the end, they like didn't just copy the ad libs that are in the original track. Like they kind of had their own shouty fun with it. And they also changed the chorus just slightly because they had 7 members. So they were like little moments where they would change the formation or something in order to like not hide anyone. And always points for not hiding people.
Yeah, love that.
Also extra points for the one fangirl in the audience that I heard screaming, I heard you.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I think was the biggest bummer about this performance is that like the amount of people watching them is like not very many. It's like kind of a small crowd for like Disney World. And it's very clear that there are only a couple of people that have any idea who they are or care at all. And the rest just like wandered up like, what's going on over here?
Yeah. And it's also very clear that the people in the audience do not know this original song. And that's the whole point of covering this song. Right.
Because it's
like,
supposed to make people go,
the song.
Mirotic.
Yeah. And it's like, if you can cover this song, then you are like worth your salt. And they actually very much best cover on it so far, I would say. Like it's I stand by that.
Yeah, I do too.
And no one in the audience can appreciate it because they don't know the song.
They don't know, man. They don't know.
But we saw you 100% and you did a great job. All right, next up, November 2012, we have EXO, who did a short cover of this song at the Mamas. And they only do about 54 seconds of this song, but it is all the
good parts.
It is all the good parts, and it is all of EXO, I think, right? It's no, it's not all of EXO.
I have them listed here.
Oh, it is only 6 of them, but it's mixed M and K. So it's Kai, Tao, Baekhyun, Schumann, Sehun, and Chris.
And I believe it was part of a larger like EXO medley stage where they did it different songs and different combinations.
Yes, exactly. They're wearing like red sparkly jackets, black leather, a little bit of fur, you know, good 2012 EXO looks. And yeah, I mean, this was good. They obviously know this choreo. I'm sure you like can't debut unless you know it.
Yeah.
At SM. But Kai and Chris definitely do a impression 100%.
Yes.
And Baekhyun can sing this fucking song in his sleep. Like, yeah.
So
there's
the
no
note
question
comes
about
very
it.
easily to Baekhyun. And yeah, my only other note about this was that they're like half of them have the worst bowl cuts I've ever seen. I didn't remember EXO having like such strong bowl cuts, but like even Kai has like a bowl cut.
Of course.
It's cute. They're cute.
They're cute. They're cute. They really, really go for those hip thrusts, of course.
Oh my God, the hip thrusts before the note. That's another thing that people like interpreted very differently from stage to stage or member to member.
Yeah. And EXO specifically, I think it's Sehun who gets like pushed to the front to really give it to you right before the note gets hit. EXO.
The next cover on our list came out in January of 2013, and this is some of the members of B2B. This cover appeared on the show Hyunsik's Sixth Sense, which was like a vlogging show that one of the members had at the time. It is the full song, but they are like in the practice room at Cube wearing their like street clothes, like assorted winter coats. And then they're just like fucking around and mugging for the camera and making each other laugh. And at first it seems like just a really silly moment. And then they just like hit you with the most perfect 5-part harmony. Like they just like kill it all of a sudden. And I was like, excuse me, I thought we were joking around here.
Yes, those are my notes too. I was like, they're just messing around, but this is actually very good. Like it's very, very good. They're very good singers, and they're like having a lot of fun. And one of the members sings the fan chants every time. Like they made sure those were included, so they understood.
Points for B2B for that.
And they really nailed the warble. Overall, great vocals.
Yeah.
Would love a real version of this.
Absolutely.
All right. In January of 2014, now we have XOM. Just XOM this time. And they're going to cover this at the Golden Disc Awards. They do not do the whole song. This is like 30 seconds or something. It's so short. And it was part of a like longer stage where like they came out and they did this, and then XOK came out and did Sorry Sorry. So the whole performance is only like a minute long,
or something.
But I have watched this like 85,000 times even before we like made this stupid episode. But because it was like one of the few XOM contents we had back in the day. All right, anyway. They're wearing black suits, some studded, bedazzled collars, but it's pretty simple. And yeah, it does open with the chorus or the first verse, and like Chen comes out and sings it, and he of course sounds beautiful.
I have to play a clip of it because it truly caught me off guard after like listening to this song so many times, like hearing Chen like just really
fucking
give us
it.
that intro really did it for me. Oh, yes. I just think that Chen's particular warble really lends itself to this, because I think a lot of people are trying to emulate that original like and like Chen is very good at that. And like I don't know, I got like emotional at it. I was like, Chen,
I know,
so good. And the runs he does at the end are all the Chen parts of this are
excellent,
so good,
except for his choreo.
The choreo is not good. I wrote Sorry XOM, but like this was not tight. This was not rehearsed well.
And
it looks not good.
Specifically, Chen and Tao only know 80% of this dance. Chen like straight up does the arms wrong at the beginning, and he notices that he's wrong, and like it's a little embarrassing because y'all are SM, and I don't know how you passed your debut test without knowing this song.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
All right. The next one we found was from August 26, 2014. And this is performed by 17 before they were 17. So 17 had an online show that was on before they debuted called 17 TV. It had like 6 or 7 seasons. They were putting out so much pre-debut content. And this was the Like 17 show 4, which was a public showcase of like all of they did like 20 covers in like different little groups. So that's what this is from. So this is the 2.5-minute version of Mirotic, and it only includes Coops, Jonghan, June, Hoshi, Wanwoo, Mingyu, and Vernon. And I would never have known that if someone had not carefully documented this 17 TV show, because the quality is crazy. They are babies, and I just wouldn't recognize them. I just wouldn't recognize them.
That's fair.
Once I had the list of people, I could spot them.
Yeah.
But when I first opened it, I was like, oh no, I don't even. And I wondered if some of them were like people who didn't even make it into 17. I was like, I don't even know who is in this performance. Like Hoshi's hair is so crazy, and June's hair is like 2 of their hairs are so crazy. I'm like, I didn't even think you would ever have that hair. Anyway, they're wearing like black pants and slip-on shoes with no socks, like all the same things. And then they have like assorted white and black button downs.
Yes.
But their like pants and shoe moment is the same for everybody. And they are singing it themselves. Like they're not just dancing to a track. They like, you know, took their own parts and redo it. And like, oh my God, baby Wanwoo, like when he gets his first line and it's like so deep, I was like, oh my God. This whole thing was just like really cute, and they were really going for it, and they have that like desperate trainee energy.
Totally.
I don't know. It's just like a very hype performance, I guess.
And I think that they like re-recorded the backing track.
Yeah, it's like fully new.
Yeah, because there's a lot of, and I feel like maybe that was Sungkwan or someone like on some of those ad libs in the back. I don't know if it was these members, but it's great. Like you can tell that it's different and it's their own. And Jonghan gets the note, and he sounds great. He like when I first saw the list of 17s that were doing this, I was like, really? Who's gonna do the note? Jonghan? And then he did, and he sounded good. So good job, baby Jonghan. You nailed it.
Yeah, they're just so small, and they have so much hair, and they're really going for it.
Hair.
And it's very cute.
So much hair.
But not great quality.
Yeah.
Just saying, if you go to the performance.
Well, and also like every other like half second is missing or something. It like skips.
I think it's because I read that apparently after this concert aired, Pledis did put the whole concert up on YouTube, and then the next day they pulled it down. So all that exists is like whatever people ripped that one day it was up still.
Fair enough.
But they should. Sorry, this is a total aside, but like I don't get why companies don't like release more of that shit more easily. Like they did 7 seasons of this fucking pre-debut show. Like why is it not readily available in perfect quality? Like people will watch it anyway.
They definitely would. Okay, next up we have in October of 2014. This is a performance by Eungkwan, Daehyun, Leo, and Youngjae, who are all from different groups. I know who we had this at first.
Eungkwan is B2B.
Okay.
Leo is VIX. Youngjae has got 7.
Daehyun?
What was the other group? Let's see. What group are you in?
BAP?
Daehyun. Yes.
Yeah.
A BAP.
BAP. Okay. So those are the people. This is at the 2014 Dream concert. And it is the full song. They are wearing like black suits, white ties, or white shirt, black tie, etc.
Very like standard like black tie wedding or like
yes.
like it's very formal looking.
Yes, because they have a full string orchestra on stage with them. And so the instrumental of this is like this super grand, slow orchestra version of it all. And it really starts off on the wrong foot from the very beginning. This performance is a travesty.
It's painful. It's painful.
Oof.
It's painful.
And from the very beginning, because I think whoever started it got the tempo wrong because he sings it at the same tempo as the original song, and it doesn't match the slowness of the strings. The strings are not playing it at the original tempo, but he sings it at the original tempo. And so then everybody else sings it at the original tempo. And then the second verse is significantly slower than the first verse. So it's pretty bad.
Yeah. And a lot like the note is absolutely not reached, not even a little bit.
No.
A lot of the like when they
close.
try to do the like ad lib part, it's like they had never practiced the ad libs or like thought about what key the song is actually in, and they're just like reaching for crazy ad libs, and they clash with the melody, or they're just flat, and like I don't know. This performance bummed me out, and it's also awkward because they're literally just standing still like an opera singer with this grand orchestra.
And then
like,
they sound
and they don't sound
awful.
good, and they were like, I don't know, and it's long, and it felt like it just felt torturous, and was a bummer.
I think every single screamed off-key note took a whole year off of Changmin's life. Like, this performance cost us dearly.
I think so. And like it's a bummer because it's like I know that all four of these people are very capable singers, but like this was not it.
This
And
was
it did
not it.
go so good.
And they maybe had never sung it together before in their lives.
That's the other part about this this experiment or looking at these is that so many of these performances are for extremely rushed stages, for Gaios, for dream concerts, for whatever. And it's really, really apparent when you can like that the certain groups did not spend enough time working this out. Like there's a lot of symptoms of like rushed performances on this list for sure.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
But
I wouldn't call this next one a rushed performance.
This one's not rushed. This next one is not rushed. This is from October 6th, 2015.
Oh, it's the same day as the Dream concert?
No.
Did I just write that down wrong? Yep, I did. I wrote it down wrong. It's a whole year
It's
later.
a whole year later.
Never mind.
So this is the SM rookies, most of which who went on to be NCT members, if not all of which went on to be NCT members.
I mean, the videos that we had of this didn't ever feature all of the members, but the faces that I saw, I named at least 5 NCTs from this clip.
So this is like a 2.5-minute version of the song, and the guys are wearing black leather jackets, white shirt, black pants, like all of them. And this one is a little hard to see or get the full picture of because all that exists online are individual fan cams of Johnny, of Jaehyun, of Mark, of whatever. So you have to kind of like watch them all and like
piece it together in your brain.
But like the Jaehyun fan cam is like literally shoulders up. It's like you don't even see him dancing because they're zoomed in so close on him. So it was kind of hard to see, but they definitely like re-recorded this with all of their voices, but they are absolutely 100% not singing. They are not singing.
Yeah.
They're not singing. They were singing on the track. They're not singing on this stage, which is fine. They're babies and they're dancing really, really hard. And maybe they haven't gotten to that part yet, that doing them at the same time part. But anyway, they do like try to make it their own a little bit. Like there's like they change up the runs at the end and like they redid all of because that's the other thing about the redone tracks is if people re-record the harmonies on the got yous, like, or if they just keep the TVXQ ones. But anyway, it seems like the rookies totally re-recorded this song.
They did.
And they're in true SM trainee fashion. They're just like doing it really hard and like nailing it and smolderize and like
exactly. I wrote, if you can't do this, you don't make the cut.
I think so.
Which is why my note under the XOM one was, how did you even debut?
Yeah, how did they do this? It seems like you have to be able to do this. I don't know.
But plus 15,000 points for the fan chants.
Yes,
because that SM Town audience, they knew what
to do.
And they screamed when they were supposed to. All right. in May of 2016, we had Monster X on M Countdown episode 475 Time Dash chart.
That was the like name of the state, like
Sure.
the special thing in the corners, like time dash, or that was my translation interpretation of like running through time. I don't know, something about like
Sure.
a flashback stage is essentially
Oh,
the
I
point.
see. All right, cool. M Countdown flashback stage, episode 475. Monster X does the full song,
The whole three and a half
three and a
minutes.
half minutes of it, and they fucking got every memo to be had on this one because they have excellent slutty suits. They are blue. But they like nobody's wearing a shirt except for I am and Chew Honey.
They also aren't wearing like socks, so it seems like
Yes.
the vibe is that they are like naked under these suits
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just like no shirts, no socks,
Chest, arms, ankles.
Yeah.
Ooh la la.
little tiny delicate chains.
Yes. Tiny, delicate chains. True. They have the fan chants because this audience knew what was up. They had really good harmonies in it. Kihyun just like sails effortlessly through every note he
course.
needs to, obviously. And I honestly thought that this is, I think, my favorite vocal cover of on this list because they do. I think that Monsta X is like one of the only groups where watching them perform this, I believed that it was their song. You know what I mean? Like, I think that you can say Chew Honey naturally has a lot of inflections in his
Sure.
raps. So like to say he's not doing a impression is like maybe not true. But I Am does not do a
No.
impression when he does his. And I think that like Kihyun is not trying to sing like Changmin.
He's singing
And
like
yeah,
Kihyun,
and
yeah.
like that's true of all the members, like all of them, because they like divvy up the line and it's all 7 of them at this point. So like Wonho, Hyungwon, Minhyuk, you can hear their individual voices, and
Yeah.
I feel like it sounds like a Monsta X song. And it's the only cover that I can really say like, yes, you they didn't change it. It's like a true cover.
Right.
They have some fun with the harmonies and the ad-libs toward the end, but like for the most part, like they don't really like make it new.
But they're not trying to do an impression
Yes,
of TVXQ doing it, which a
exactly.
lot of the others are like you said, trying to match that early second gen, late first gen like inflection
Yeah.
of like the singing or whatever. And
Yeah, and they just sing it like they sing every song. And I thought it was really good. I think they nailed it from start to finish. I am very biased toward it, but I don't care. And I had one other note from it, and I can't remember what it was.
My only
now.
note is that they are babies.
They are so small.
And I can't cope when I look at
They're
it.
so little.
Like literally, looks like he's in middle school. Like he looks like a child.
kind of
He
has
looks
Changmin's
scared.
baby bangs.
He like does not like the amount of like smoldery stage presence that he has now. He absolutely did not have back then. And like Wonho is like
So
a third of the size that he is now.
He and Shonu are like the
Shonu
same
looks little,
size.
too.
No, but I mean like on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
stage,
yeah.
they're like the same size.
And they just look like such babies, and it was like making me laugh because I forgot that they used to be babies and that this was like 7 years ago or something.
Six, yeah, it is
yeah.
6 years ago. That's true. A lot can happen.
A lot can change.
I remembered the note, and it was just that I thought that because they have 7, they reworked the formations so that no one was ever covered, but everyone was always symmetrical. They just like really easily reworked them. So points for that.
Points for that. All right, next up in December of 2016, BAP did a cover of Mirotic at the 2016 MBC Gayo de Jejeon. And they do about a 1.5 minute version of the song in like they're all wearing black suits, like different variations of black suits, but just an all black suit look. And like my one note for this is that there is one member who, again, absolutely did not have the time.
Did not
learn
choreo.
this. Did not learn this at all. Like he is off on the choreo at every single moment that he could possibly be. And in his eyes,
he knows.
He knows. He knows it is not going well. Because they gave him a lot of the singing lines. So when he gets the close-ups, you can see that he's being like, I'm fucking this up. This is like not going well.
Mm-hmm. Or he'll just straight up like, you know what? I'm just going to stand and sing this line.
Instead of
that's all right.
not doing the choreo that I did not learn. Yeah.
But my question for this was, did we actually hit that note? Because these vocals don't seem live and I couldn't tell. I'm not very good at telling sometimes. But yeah,
can't be sure.
Couldn't be 100% sold. Next up, May 2017. We have.
This was my favorite one that I found.
We have Changmin, Donghae, and Siwon from Super Junior. And some military police, because all of those boys were in the military police. So their military police unit did a K-pop dance cover stage. And they covered Super Junior and TVXQ in a little medley stage. So they only do like a 1 minute chunk of this. And this was at a event for the Suso Police Department, which was called We Are Suso Community. So they're wearing their police dress uniforms. And they start it from like the chorus, I think. Or no, they started from the first verse because they're like all in their little line, and then they like bust out into
because that turning
chorus.
that's another like really iconic part of this is that they all start in a little like huddle and turn away from it and do the like big knees away from that. So like most people start it that way because that's what you want to like see out of a Mirotic cover is the iconic beginning.
Well, and because like we'll even know that that's what you're going to cover when you just get into
down
the
there.
position.
People are like, oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. But I really laughed while I was watching this because your notes include Donghae's name in it, but the video title does not. And so the video title only says Changmin and Siwon. And so when I was like watching it for the first time, I was like, wow, these other cops are really good. Like this guy, he's nailing it. Like, wow, he could be an idol. And then I was like, he kind of looks like Donghae. And by the end, I was like, wait, is that Donghae? And then I looked at your notes and I was like, oh my God, I'm so dumb. Like, wow, I'm so stupid. It took me so long. I'm sitting there being like, someone should recruit this guy.
But truly, all of the other cops are really good.
Yeah, they really
like,
are.
they're shockingly good. There's like one guy who's like really giving a lot of face and like absolutely nailing it. But my other favorite part about this stage is just like, I love Changmin so much, you guys. But I love, nothing makes me laugh harder than his whole like pretending to be embarrassed thing. Like, he acts so put upon and like he hates being an idol so much. Something that he could have quit at any point in his life. But he like doesn't. He does it because he does love it. And he does this whole like, oh no, I'm so like shy and embarrassed to be here. But it's like a lie. It's a lie.
It's a lie.
Because he's absolutely destroying this.
Yeah. He is giving it so hard.
So
my
sharp.
favorite is when they do Devil. Because so they do Mirotic, The Way You Are, Devil, and Sorry Sorry. And by the time they get to Devil, like Changmin is in the zone. Like he is nailing it so hard. He's like going for it so much more than Donghae and Siwon are, and like he's doing a great job.
Yeah, but when he first walked out, he like walks out like, oh my God, this is the worst thing that ever happened to me. Like, shut up.
Ready,
no, it's
and
not.
go.
But I just had to include this one. I know it's like maybe like barely counts because one of the people in it is a TVXQ, but he wasn't at the moment. He was a
civilian.
police. He was a civilian.
Oh yeah, he wasn't a
police officer.
I guess he's the opposite of a civilian because he's both a police officer and a soldier.
Yes, but still, the point is he wasn't an idol at that moment.
He
so
wasn't Max Changmin. He was just Shim Changmin.
Yes, exactly. All right, so the next one on our list is from July of 2017, and this is Lee Hong-ki, the lead singer of FT Island, on his own show, Kiss. He was the host of Kiss the Radio at the time. So this is just like from an episode of Kiss the Radio. He's wearing a t-shirt and a baseball cap because he's on the radio. It's not a performance. But he like does the whole song by himself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like so impressive and he's like really doing it, but the note is not in his range. It's just not. He's a very good singer, but that note is outside of his like level of expertise. So it does not happen good. He just kind of like yell, pretend, joke, laughs through it because he's not gonna do it.
He doesn't even attempt it really, or like he kind of like starts an attempt that's obviously a joke, and then he cuts himself off and like coughs and laughs his way through to the end, which I was honestly like, you know what, respect, know yourself. You know that you can't do it, but he did a great rap attempt. I thought.
The rap is really
threw
good.
himself into it and it was great.
And when I was like looking for trying to find the date of when this video happened, a couple of people like wrote articles about like, you have to hear Honky rapping this Mirotic cover because he's not, FT Island is not a rap group.
Yeah.
They are like rock ballad rock group, and he doesn't do rapping. So the fact that he like pulls off this rap with like lots of swag, I guess got him a little bit of attention that day.
Absolutely. And the song does sound good in his rasp.
Yeah.
The note not included. All right, next up from April of 2018. I hope you're noticing that not one single year has been skipped.
Nope.
April 2018, we had WJSN at KCON Japan performed 50 seconds of this song. And it is only 5 members. So it's Dawon, Onso, Yoram, Eshi, and Yeonjong. And yeah, they do a pretty good job, like points for being one of the only girl groups to cover this song. They're wearing like black shorts and a top. They have like black suit jacket, and like, I think like kind of tall boots or something, but the boots are flat. Because they do like, they start, like I said, in that iconic, like they got to start from the first
huddle,
verse.
yeah.
So they start in the huddle and then they like bust out of it. And honestly, the fact that it's so short is really a bummer because I think that they did a really good job, even though they stayed very true to the original song. They did a really good job. And I absolutely know that the WJSN vocalists can hit that note.
For sure.
And this
even
cuts
the
off
changed key. Yeah.
right before, like it doesn't include it. And that's a shame.
Yeah.
Because to be frank, like why cover this song if you're not going to include the note?
Yeah.
Like everybody knows that the note is the
that's part of
highlight.
it.
And especially if you're known for your singers who can like belt the fuck out of some note through their nose, then like why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah.
That's exactly what you needed.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, it's a bummer that this one is so short. And I also wrote like at this point in the list, like I don't know what number we're on, but we're in the high teens of like Mirotics in a row. That at this point, hearing it in another key was like just the most beautiful relief. Like it was just like, oh my God, it's kind of different. And it like just felt so good to hear it just a little bit different at this point. So yeah, I wish it was so much longer. Because it could have been
good.
So cool.
Could have been good.
But it's not long enough.
And it kind of just feels like a cop out. Like, oh, you only half covered this song.
Yeah. 50 seconds is not enough.
No.
It's
It's not.
All right. The next one from April 2018. This was soloist Babylon on an episode of King of Masked Singer. He does do the full song. And again, beautiful relief to hear the song like sung any differently.
Yeah.
It has so many really great like moments of like playing with the song in his voice. So here's a little clip so you can hear this different Masked Singer version of Mirotic.
파고드는 날카로운 눈빛 나 아니고선 움직이지도 않는 그런 네가 선택한 일인 걸 혈관을 타고 흐르는 수억개의 나의 크리스탈 마침내 시작된 변신의 끝이나
So it sounds so nice.
Yeah.
It sounds really, really nice. But yeah, because this is on Masked Singer though, his Masked Singer identity for while he was competing was expensive patterned pottery. So his mask just looks like a vase.
Yeah.
And he's wearing like a Flintstones outfit, like a leopard print, like tunic and some like fur stuff. So like, yeah, he's just supposed to
He
look
looks
like
wild, but he sounds great.
So
and
good.
like, yeah, the way that he kind of turns this into like a desperate, like pleading ballad, and he really like has such nice falsettos, like played with it so well. But what is the point of covering this song on a singing competition and not including the notes?
Literally skipped it.
Like,
skipped it.
what?
Skipped it.
Disqualified. Like immediately almost.
Such
like,
a huge bummer.
wow. I couldn't believe that he didn't even try to work it in some way, shape, or form.
Because what they do is that, like, as you heard in the clip, like, they messed with the tempo a bunch of times. So when he, like, does the rap, they, like, change the tempo entirely. And he, like, ends the rap on a note. And then, bam! Then it, like, changes again back into the song, like skipping
skipping over the moment entirely. And like he does, you know, have great like running ad-libs at the end, and he had an incredible range. Like it wouldn't have even needed to be hit in the same way. Like it doesn't need to be scream belted. Like, and you don't have to have the like yow at the end. Like you can make it fit yours, but put the note in there somewhere. Yeah. Like come on, man.
I agree. Whatever. I agree.
All right, January 2019, we had a group of contestants from a show called Under 19 perform a cover of this song on the competition show Under 19, episode 10. And they do the full song. So this is like a competition show where they, I assume, are covering something every single week.
This was specifically like a the songs were like legendary K-pop songs was the like theme of this episode or something.
Fair enough. But yeah, they're wearing white suits. I did note that they're like not slutty at all, but that's okay because the show's called Under 19. But the girls in this crowd understand the fan chants. They're for every single one of them. And this was pretty good. I honestly thought it was like, it's very true to the original. But I thought it was pretty good, except for the note itself, because is it not half a step lower than it's supposed to be?
Probably. And the only note I had for this stage, and it distracted me so much, and this shit just like drives me fucking crazy, especially in the context of these like competition survival shows. This performance is auto-tuned to death in post. And like it's the kind of auto-tune that is being used to fix a bad singer, which is the worst kind because you can hear it so clearly.
Yeah.
And it just like bummed me out because it was like, if they were flat and bad, then you need to show that to me. Like, how dare you correct them? They didn't get it.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes like,
especially on a competition show where, people are presumably going to be voting. And so then like you're showing them a lie.
Yeah. And that just really bugged me. That was my like biggest note about that. I was always like, oh, I don't like this like deep post auto tuning. It bothers me a lot.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
The other thing I found was that I was trying to figure out what the deal
with this
like
show was.
if any of these people were important. And like, so the under 19 winners debuted in a group called One the Nine that was temporary. So now a bunch of the One the Nines are split to groups: Way, Cypher, Just B, Omega X, and Blanky. And I'm not, I've never heard of Blanky, but, and I'm not sure who ended up where, but I do know that at least 3 of the guys in this stage were in One the Nine. I didn't have the time or brain space to figure it out, but I think at least 3 of the people in this Mirotic cover made it to the final group. So
fair enough.
But yeah, that's that one. Next up, March 2019, Astro at their second Astrode to Hong Kong concert did a special cover of Mirotic. They're wearing like blue suits, either suits or just the vest, like Moonbin. Just a vest on Moonbin. We gotta get the skin out in this Moonbin. No shirts. Yeah, just little bits of skin. But the most surprising thing about this is, for the first time in like a decade, Under My Sky,
Yeah.
Astro.
And at their own concert
Under
tour.
My Sky.
Why? In the year of 2019, we're censoring it at our own show? Like, at least MJ can hit that note.
Yeah.
Because
They
that's
do
all that's
sound
safe to
very
on
good.
here, I gotta say. Like, I mean, yes, obviously, they all sound good. Like, they're good singers. And neither Rocky nor Jin, like, try a impression, which good. We don't need it. But censored in the year of 2019. Unacceptable.
Especially because, as stated many, many times, there is nothing inappropriate about the phrase under my skin. I don't get it.
Yeah,
Because
and
it
was
also-
only like a music show rule. Like, not even all of the broadcasts, like Shiny on the radio didn't have to sing
Yeah.
Under My Sky, and they were actual children.
Right. Because there's nothing wrong with under my skin. Especially because it's also funny because I feel like that, at least like as an English idiom, like it has a negative connotation.
Yes.
Like it's like having like it's like someone being like an itch. It's like
Yeah.
you're bugging me. You're like getting under my skin. And it's so weird that someone decided that that was like sexual and needed to be
Because of the word
censored.
skin.
Yeah, I don't like it. But my only note for this one is, why is Moonbin allowed? Why is he allowed? He shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
At least it's kind of a grainy video.
Yeah. It's helpful. It's helpful.
All right. That same year, in December of 2019, we had NCT Dream did literally 29 seconds of this song on the 2016 NBC Gayo Daejeon. And so this was like an end of the year show. They're wearing white suits. And they did not know this very well.
No, I think at some point, or some SM dance teachers get lazy
They're
about teaching
slacking
Mirotic, or it's like
on
not
teaching
important.
the classics. Because yeah, only 30 seconds, but short enough to spot your mistakes, boys.
Yeah, the camera's trying to cover for it really hard. Like every time you see someone making a big mistake in the group formation, they like go into like a tight one shot on someone, and it's
Yeah.
like, I saw though. I saw.
I saw that. And it sounds almost like it's a different backing track. The strings seem way more important. But it like isn't enough time to really do anything with
Right.
it. Like, why even bother if you're only going to do 30 seconds?
I agree. Okay, so next up, a few days later, on January 4th, 2020, IZ*ONE performed a cover of this at the Golden Disc Awards. And this is a 2-minute version, so it's not like our 2.5. It's a little longer than the WJSN one, but it's still like not enough song, I don't think. They also say Under My Sky, and I was like, what is happening? Why are we reverting to Under My Sky?
I don't know.
And it was only 5 IZ*ONEs, and I apologize. I could not tell you which 5 because they were not labeled in any way on the screen. So I don't know who it was, but it was 5 of them.
Yeah.
And I loved their runs that they added particularly. So here's a clip of IZ*ONE. That's Sky.
But
That's
Sky. I will say, like, although I thought they sound very good on the track, it's a little weird to hear this sung in the baby voices. Like, it just is weird.
I would agree.
And like they're wearing like tough, like they've got like black leather pants and like structured black
And riding
jackets and
boots.
riding boots. They're supposed to be like cool and sexy, and then they sound like this, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, we could mature the vocals a little bit for this, but maybe we can't hit the notes if we do that. I don't know.
I'm also very curious as to, I mean, I could have looked it up, but my brain was really broken by this song at this point. But I was curious what was going on with the Golden Disc Awards at that time, because during this performance, they keep cutting to individual members of BTS sitting in the like artist section,
Which is
but there's
presumably
no
empty.
one else around. No one.
Not even the other members
They're
of
all
BTS.
spread out. And I don't know. I was like, why are there no other idols in this section? And why are they all sitting so far away from each other? Like, I know there was coronavirus already in Asia at this point in January, so I don't know if it was a social distancing thing, but it looks so weird. There are so many seats. And
Yeah.
just like 7 random BTSs like spread through the seats. And I didn't understand why. And then the other thing is that after this Eyes One performance, Stray Kids come out and sing a God song. And I was like, what? I don't know what the thread of this segment is because I'm not sure I get it.
I mean, maybe it was just like old generation
Old
songs
things, but
or
yeah,
whatever.
but that God song is like 5, 6, 7 years before the TVXQ song. So I don't know what the point was, but
I don't know, but I will say minus 10 million points for also skipping the note because they skip right over it. And even that one BTS was surprised.
because he goes to
sing it. He was like lip syncing, and just like me, we both did it at the same time, opened our mouths to sing along, and then went, huh? Because they didn't do it. So me and that one guy
It
on
was
the same
Jaden.
page. Okay.
But yeah. So that was that one.
All right, next up, March 2020, we have The Boys, who did the 2.5-minute version on M Countdown, a special stage for M Countdown. And they have all, 12, 13 of them?
11.
Okay. Every single one of them is on this stage. They're wearing like silky black shirts of different varying fits. Some of them have jackets. But yeah, I don't know. They just do a really straightforward cover. Like they don't change the choreo at all. They really don't even change the formations, despite the fact that there's 11 people on the stage. They just kind of like keep them as a clump. And yeah, I don't know. There's like a slight vocal filter.
Yeah, they
on
put like
almost all of
a
it.
robot, like a kind of like a weird like technological like robot-y filter over the
Yeah.
vocals, which is kind of interesting. And they definitely re-recorded the backing track because the like harmonies parts, it like really sounds like the Boys. Like they definitely like redid the
Yes.
song part.
I do wish that they had done a little bit more with it.
Yeah, if you're gonna bother.
Yeah, if you're going to, I mean, yeah, if you're going to bother, and if you have so many people, like, it would have been fun to see them do something a little bit different with either the choreo or the like harmonies or something like that, just because we've seen them do such really cool covers. So it was a little like, oh, you just did this straight by the book. Like, okay.
Yeah.
However, one of the better, impressions in the bunch.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, my main note for this is that like, yeah, I just think that they might have too many people for this dance because like you said, they are just doing the same choreo, but they're going 4 rows back.
Yeah.
Because there's so many of them and it just like
looks kinda
feels
crazy
very
on
drill
stage.
teamy or
Yeah.
something. Like, I don't know. Maybe not the right song to cover. And my other weird note about this that bothers me is that they're all wearing like dark silky shirts and Eric is wearing like a light blue shirt and it does not match. And he just like is standing out like a sore thumb. And I'm like, why did you put him in this shirt? It does not go with all the other shirts.
Maybe he spilled something on his dark blue
that
shirt.
sounds like something that could be possible. All right, second to last one. We're almost here. So on December 20th of 2021, TXT performed 40 seconds of Mirotic as part of a much larger medley where TXT and Enhypen on the KBS Gayo de Chuki did a Legends of K-pop stage where they do a ton of songs that came out before they were fucking born.
Yeah, and they like go back and forth in this like kind of silly like community theater way where like one of them comes out and they like do a like quick 30 seconds and they're all wearing black tank tops, and then the other group comes out and they do another 30 seconds, and when the first group comes back they're wearing jackets over their black tank tops and like they did a quick change but not quick enough to actually change anything.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
but yeah.
And yeah, they are, my only note for this is like that they are hilariously skinny. Like I'm sorry, TXT. You are so adorable, but they are such little babies in their little like vests with their skinny arms doing the I get you. And I don't know, it just was making me giggle because they just seemed so baby.
They do. It does look more like a middle school like talent show or something, especially because the song that they do before this is Rain, Bad Guy.
Also
and that made me
hilarious.
think of the clip of Wanwoo like doing it at his middle school talent show. And I was like, that's what this is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Under My Sky in the year of
Yes.
2021, like a curse on both your houses.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
unacceptable.
Not cool.
Like not cool. Not cool. And also auto-tuned.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. I don't like it. It like says to me
It tells me you can't sing. That's what it tells me.
I mean, yeah, it tells me that you can't sing because like, yeah, why can't you pull this off without autotune? And it also just like makes me annoyed at the like company that like either they need to work more or like if you don't believe in them, like I don't know. I just find it so strange that like TXT as a rule is auto-tuned on every single performance.
Yeah.
Like I guess it's a style choice, but I don't like it. I don't like it.
yeah. And I mean, that's not just, I mean, I feel like we have heard them.
Like I know
sing.
they're capable.
I know they can sing.
So that's why I also don't like it. It's like I know they're capable and it's like such an ugly crutch to lean on.
Yeah.
And it sounds
Especially when
bad.
it sounds bad.
It hits my ear in a ucky way.
Yeah, I agree. I do not like it.
Autotune should only be used for like fun style. If it's ever being used to actually correct pitch, that sucks.
Like T-Pain is an excellent singer. And that is why he's very good at using autotune.
Yeah, because that's what you need.
Yeah. Kanye's autotune sounds
Bad.
bad because he's a bad singer.
And robots can only do so much to help you with such things.
They cannot give you talent.
No, they can't. Anyway,
All right.
that was the TXT and Hypen stage. Finally, we have one more.
Last but not least.
Absolutely not least.
Lord have mercy. On December 25th, 2021, we had what I wrote in my notes as the faces.
So the faces.
All caps. Because this is a stage from the SBS Gayo Daejun that had Moonbin, Yoo Taeyong from SF9, Jooyeon from The Boys, Hyunjin from Stray Kids, and Woods. And they do the full 3.5-minute song. And they are wearing slutty white suits that either have see-through tops or peaky little cutouts in all these different places. And it's just a lot of smolder.
It's so much face. It's too much face. It's a deadly amount of face.
It is too much face, for sure. And they are lucky that Woods was there.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he carries that song. Sorry, Moonbin. But it's true. Luckily, they gave him the note.
Yeah, so here's a clip. I don't think it's the note, but here is a clip of Woods just sounding amazing on this song. But the other thing that was so interesting about this is that it's literally the first song in 24 songs where anyone made an attempt to change the choreo.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Everyone
Yes.
else has done a standard TVXQ cover.
Mm-hmm.
This one, they like change up all the verses to give everybody little moments. They like add little like group things. They do a whole like gun motif.
Yep.
They do the chorus the right way, but they like otherwise made the stage really interesting. And I thought that was crazy that it was the first time in this whole list
Yeah.
that anyone has tried to do something different.
Absolutely. It was the first time that anyone tried to really change the choreo aside from just like changing the formation slightly. They like actually changed the moves. Like especially of note like in the rap verse because they don't do the shoulders. They do like a knee thing instead. So it does have different moves, which is fun to see. But somebody doesn't quite hang on to all those ad libs toward the end. And I don't know who it is, but I know it's not Woods. And that was that. That is the end.
That is the end.
Yeah, aside from shout out to Wannabe, the girl group who did a dance cover that YouTube suggested to me after I finished watching all of these. They did a good job. They actually changed the choreo just a little bit as well. But most of that is for the formation of it all. But yeah, any conclusions, takeaways
I don't know.
from
I'm
this
trying
adventure?
to think, like, after going
This
through all
misadventure?
of this, like, can we answer or try to answer, like, what is it about Mirotic that makes it something that everybody like wants to cover in this way?
Well, that
is
I feel
it
like
just
we have answered.
Okay.
In the sense that like it has become a barometer
Okay, yes,
for
yes.
like your talent as a K-pop group, right? Because it's hard to sing and the choreo is so iconic, right?
Mhm.
So like can you like bring the flavor of a TVXQ performance and like get people screaming? And also, can you hit the notes? And like, if
Yeah.
you can do those things, then maybe you're worth your salt. And it's like an easy song to show that like, oh, you know, your history or whatever, as far as like, you know, it was so huge that like you think of like, oh, what's an iconic K-pop song? Like, oh, KES, Mirotic.
Mm.
So I do feel like I don't know. I feel like I get why people cover it.
Mm-hmm.
But my biggest takeaway is that people need to start covering other TVXQ songs because I'm fucking tired of it now.
Yes.
Like we have more than 20 different groups have covered this song already. And this 2022, so far, no one has covered it. This might be the first year since this song has been released that not one group will cover it.
We'll find out.
But cover another TVXQ song challenge
Yeah.
to everyone for this year because fucking A, man.
I agree. Because in the Police performance, when they do The Way You Are, I was like, oh my God, another song. And the SM Rookie stage shows a moment of that they started with that. What is that song called? Before You Go. One of those like early two only ballads they had done.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, it just reminds me of that, like, oh yeah, TVXQ has like so many other songs.
And this song has like a full minute of it is just the chorus. So it's not even one of the most interesting TVXQ songs. Like, come on, guys. Give me a 2VXQ song. Like, they're not even 5 people anymore, man.
Maybe that's part of it, is that like, you know, the
Nobody's
boys
brave enough to
just
do a 2VXQ cover.
Yeah.
But they always have fun backup. They always have a gaggle of backup dancers. Like, you don't need to only have 2 people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would love to see like the boys like, you know, attempt something.
Like Spellbound.
And have to do the like
something.
bass ropes or like all of
Chance
the
of
things.
Love.
Yeah.
We have so many options.
So many options. But yeah, this was a really crazy, ridiculous, silly thing to do. And I'm sick of it now. I don't want to hear it anymore. But like, but I don't hate like. It also didn't cause me to hate it. Like it does hold.
I don't think anything can. It's a good song.
It's a good song, and even listening to it 25 times in a row, like
it just makes me want to listen to the original version.
Yeah, very fair, very fair. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed listening to this experience, and I hope you watch a couple of these covers and let us know what your favorite Mirotic cover is. And we'll be right back with the random game. All right, we are back. And this week, the random number generator gave us a, unfortunately, very short-lived boy group called We in the Zone. This was a 5-member boy group. They lost 1 member in 2019, and then the whole group disbanded in January of 21.
And they debuted on May 27th of 2019 under Chun Entertainment with the self-titled album We in the Zone. So they lost a member very shortly after they debuted, I assume. But the members had done a few different things before they debuted with We in the Zone. There was one that was on Produce 101. One was on that under 19 group that we were just talking about. And then they also did like so Chun Entertainment in 2018 announced that they would debut a new boy group called WITZ, WITZ, and it had 3 members, and then they added 2 members and re-debuted as We in the Zone. So maybe
Okay.
that's what WITZ stood for.
It does.
We in the
Yeah,
Zone.
okay, yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, short-lived. But it says that one of the members revealed that the members had terminated their contracts with June. So it's not just that the group was dissolved. It's like the members
Everyone
left.
out of there. But yeah, they released 2 EPs in their time, both in 2019. And there were 5 singles to go off of those ones. And their most popular music video is a song called Bet on Me. Is that right?
It sounds like it. Bet on me.
And it has 400,000 views on YouTube, and it is a performance video.
Yeah.
And Bet on Me is not listed in their singles, so I hope it's not a cover. That would be a bummer. No, it's probably their
No,
song.
I think that it's just that they did because they have performance video number 1, 2, and 3, and Love, 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 and Better are the other 2. I'm guessing that these are like tracks from their first.
Oh, and
release.
also this video is from 2018, so that's the WITS version.
Interesting.
Well, if you want to check out whatever this is with us, you can pull up We in the Zone performance video Bet on Me and press play when I say go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Ooh.
Falsetto. All right.
Okay.
We're
We have
doing
way more than
shadow.
5 people on here.
Shadow dancing. But I think only
Wait,
these 3.
This is just the okay. So yeah, this is just the We in the Zone, the original 3. Interesting. Does this even count? We'll count it.
It will count today because we've already started watching it.
Ooh, I like that guy's voice though.
We've got like a red and black theme here. Just box video.
Yeah. One set they're dancing with backup dancers in a white room with like dramatic lights, and the other one they're in like a red room and having some one shots. Wearing a lot of buckles and things.
Yeah, so many buckles and straps. This is very Seventh Sense, the way that this like
yes, the way it
looks and
dropped.
the drop
Yeah.
of the song. Yeah, I don't know what I expected from this, but I guess this is what a group called We in the Zone would sound like.
I guess I feel like it's sexier than I expected it to be.
These parts, this like
Yeah,
song
like this
part.
is such like smooth R&B. That's not what I expected. I expected something louder. Like We in the Zone. You know what I mean?
yeah. All right, now this guy's dancing in front of a bunch of stand-up video game cabinets.
When this guy's in a fluorescent light cage.
Yeah, it's like a little tiny chain link cage, but there's a bunch of fluorescent light bulbs like stuck through it.
Just looks dangerous, to be honest.
I feel like that is just like it's one of those funny K-pop video tropes.
Yeah.
I like someone just being in a small box.
Yes.
I'm in this box. It's so small.
I'm in a cage of emotions.
Yes, escape of emotion.
The song goes through a lot of different moments.
Yes.
The guy kind of looks like Taeyong. His like wide upper face.
Yeah.
He was one of the 5 NCTs I recognized in that SM Rookies stage.
Yeah. Drama ending.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Bet on me.
Wow. I mean,
Although I
wonder-
do think that was Wits as opposed to
Wits.
We in the Zone.
Yeah,
Because
but
it was just the 3
just
of
the 3.
them.
But that is also very interesting because I feel like, I like a 3-member group is very, very rare. I think it's fun. I think like 3 members can be really good. So I wonder what the choice to add to was, because I didn't watch that and think like they need more people.
Yeah, definitely
fine
not.
as 3.
Especially, I mean, considering that they have so many like backup dancers and stuff. But I don't know.
Anyway, that was We in the Zone. Very short-lived. Gone but not forgotten.
I guess.
All right, weekly recommendation time.
I feel like I did think of something to recommend. And I doubt that I'll remember it because TVXQ Mirotic has like melted my brain. My brain is nothing but Mirotic now.
That's okay. I mean, I just opened the Patreon Rex to see if there was anything in there, and there isn't, which is a bummer. So reminder to
come
the
on,
seasoned
guys.
fan tier patrons, you can submit recommendations for moments like this. But our complaining about the overuse of autotune in some of these melodic stages reminded me of something really good that I watched the other day.
Oh.
There is a program on Netflix, at least on Netflix US. I hope it is on other countries' Netflixes as well. But the show is called This Is Pop. And every single episode explores some element of pop music. Like there's one about the Swedish songwriters who like did a lot of stuff and just a lot of cool history. There's a Boyz II Men episode about like how boy bands, whatever. Anyway, really interesting show. But there's an episode specifically about autotune. And it's about how autotune for years and years was literally a secret. Producers who used it did not want anyone to know that they had this technology. And then Cher put out Believe using the autotune turn, like if you set it to 0, like that's what it sounds like. You can make it really natural and undetectable, or you can make it super detectable. And then that's how T-Pain, that's what he wanted to use, was that very detectable, crazy version. But him doing that made so many people super mad. There's a part in the episode where he says that Usher told him to his face that he ruined music, which made me really mad at Usher. How dare you? But they just like talk a lot about...
Yeah, Usher, we've all heard OMG. Sit down.
Please shut up. But anyway, it's really, really interesting just talking about like, I don't know, like how that technology is used or overused or underused or abused and whatever, and how people treated T-Pain real bad and he didn't do anything. And like, it was a really interesting episode of television. So I recommend the whole show if you like, I mean, I think because you listen to this, that you would care about like fun pop music history.
Sure.
But that auto-tune episode was especially informative and interesting. So I want to recommend that.
What's the name of the show again?
The show is called This Is Pop.
Great.
Netflix. There you go.
Awesome. Well, since we brought him up on the episode, I'm just going to recommend my man Woods because he just came back recently. His album, wait, I laughed at the name of the album. Hold on, I have to look it up again because, it's called Colorful Trauma. I love Woods. He's so dramatic. The lead single is called I Hate You. And it's kind of like pop rocky. Our friend Jenna described the music video as like My Chemical Romance meets the Joker.
It's very pop punky, like super like early 2000s pop punk, but also weirdly like different. Like there are some interesting things about it where it sounds familiar, like an old pop punk song. But also it has that
its
like
own thing.
K-poppy sensibility of like doing weird changes you wouldn't expect, or like the movements the song goes through is really interesting, I think.
I totally agree. And the whole EP is very fun. I liked it a lot. It does not all sound like the main track. He like plays with kind of a different, I think what's interesting about Woods is that, like you said, he takes these like genres of music that we're familiar with and then blends them with this like unique K-pop ability to make them into something new. And the first song off of this album made me want to listen to the Donnas again. And
Oh my
oh my God, it
God.
was so good. But then he also has like kind of like softer things on it too. And like, it's not all like heavily leaning on the rock aspect, but it's a very different EP than his last one, Only Lovers Left. It's a very different vibe, but it's very fun. I think he's just kind of like a chameleon, and he can do so many different things, and his voice sounds good in so many different styles, and he's just like playing with us now, and I love it.
Yeah.
Good for Woods.
Love Woods. That's great. Cool. Those are some things to check out. And that is it for this week. Next week, we will be talking about our time at the Twice Encore show this weekend. Yay! So reminder, if you will be at the Saturday show, so will we. Hit us up if you want to like meet and say hey. I don't have any Ask Me About K-pop buttons. I gave them all to Slowpoke Megan to give away at the BTS concert, but I do have stickers. Hey. So, I mean... But I won't bring them if no one's going to meet us because we have to bring in such tiny bags.
It's true. So if you want a sticker, hit us up beforehand so we can like specifically bring you a sticker.
Yes.
But also no pressure. You don't have to meet us.
No, you don't have to. Just saying.
Yeah. But we'll be there.
We'll be there.
So if you hear our voices in the bathroom line, it's really us.
Yeah, it is us. And we can have another meet cute in the bathroom line. But anyway, that's that.
Cookie is knocking and telling us to wrap this shit
up.
up.
The cat is like, I've had it. So you can find us at AMA K-pop Pod on Twitter and Instagram, amakpoppod@gmail.com for emails. 181-AMA-KPOP5 is our phone number for voicemails or text messages or whatever. P.O. Box 26096, Los Angeles, California 90026 for packages or letters. Patreon.com/AMAKPopPod. Join in all the fun people who joined to watch our fun videos and listen to Queendom recaps and all the things that are happening on Patreon. And Linktree/AMAKpop. Oh my God, the cat is going crazy. It's like a zombie attack.
Dig through my door. You better hurry up.
Linktree will take you to YouTube and Spotify. You can watch the YouTube playlist of all 25 of these covers. Join our Discord, talk to other listeners, all that fun stuff. Hopefully see you at the Twice concert and see you next week for more episodes. Goodbye. Goodbye. Jonghyun, you're our inspiration.